He's going for the overly
professional as ever.
My camera just switched off and on there. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, okay.
Are you playing like 3 or 4 songs at the same time here?
No, you've got you've got your audio one for the video, YouTube video.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for telling me in plenty of time and not letting me ruin the fucking whole ambience.
They can hear us now, you know that? Because I've not muted the mics.
Good, just as well I wasn't fucking talking
saying
to my
anything
account.
dodgy but howling.
Aye. Oh, we're there. Oh, we're fucking there.
Are we there? Is that us?
That's us. We're on.
Yes.
We're on.
Wednesday
Good
night.
stuff.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday
7
night
PM.
live. Good.
Episode.
They're persistent, on you go. What episode's this?
It's
11?
episode 12.
Oh, we're on 12?
Episode 12, man. Which
Brilliant,
is just incredible. We've broken all records.
Persistence.
Yep.
Persistence.
Cam, can you give me the mouse a wee second just to change something? Something not quite right on the live stream, but the wonders of... There we go. That's us. And the chat is bouncing already.
Great.
So we'll get to the chat in a wee bit, and we've got a few wee updates to announce on social media, ruins everything.
And a few of your ads. You'll be doing adverts as well.
Well, do you know what? I might just not fucking bother with the ads tonight, Neil. I might not bother.
Well,
It
that's
seems as
what
if a few people get triggered by them. You know, the poppers. The poppers in the chat. I've not got any money, your ads trigger me.
Well, that was like when I was said to you the other night when we were on, and I was like, "How much is it for the Patreon?" I thought it was like £3, and and you says £9, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" I says, "I just got an email from Netflix saying Netflix is going up to £9." I was like, "Fucking hell!" And you're charging £9 for this? You've got fucking a million fucking films on there. But
Aye, so we've
good.
reduced the price to the all access on Patreon, patreon.com/SMRE to £4. So we'll give a shout out to our 2 producers. This week we have got Ray Masterson. He is an executive producer, Neil. He's the top tier. He's the Harvey Weinstein of international podcasting. And we've got Scott Porterfield. He's in as a producer. And this is the last thing I'll say about Patreon, right? The last thing I'll say about it. Today is the 29th of September. Patreon doesn't charge you until the 1st. So if you wait until the 2nd, Saturday the 2nd, you'll be able to get a full month of our amazing members-only content for fucking free. Patreon.com/SMRE.
I actually spoke to Andy just earlier on the day because like he was on the Sunday.
He was on the members, wasn't he?
Yeah, the members one. So I spoke to him and he was picking up his car that he was telling us about, and he's driving through Italy, and he says that went all right. Went I never ranted or anything. I says no, I think it went totally fine. I thought it was I never thought there was any crazy bits of that. You know, I thought it was fine.
It was actually personally, I found it a dead helpful episode, and I was talking to my mate Gary about some of the stuff Andy was saying. You know, you make the circle, and you put the stuff in the circle that matter to your family, your friends, stuff that actually matters to you, and anything out the circle you don't give a fuck about it. And I was like, it's fucking brilliant, man. You had some good stuff to say, and it did look like we had Jason Statham on the show, as Scott pointed out. Andy was sitting in his car in the dark with the headlights behind him and all that, you know.
It was quite a different setting for a podcast. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it looked pretty funny. It was kind of, I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it, and I enjoy talking to you two anyway. So, you know what I mean? If it's content or whatever, it was still good fun, you know. But it was funny. I'm sitting in his car. I quite enjoyed it. So I added a wee different element to him in his car with like half his face lit up. It looked like
it was so dramatic, you know. It was classic Hollywood half lighting, just one side of his face lit up with the interior light in his car. You know, he's sitting in the dark streets of Sofia in the consulate district of the city where all the diplomats live and all that. You know, it was like we would going into Eastern Europe and we've got a special correspondent for behind the enemy lines. You know, in the communist Soviet bloc.
I was thinking about it, and I never asked him after it. He says that he's moved to next to the embassies because if anything kicks off, and I
Aye.
was thinking, oh, at the time I was like, oh, aye, that's good then. But then I've been thinking, why? What would you move next to the embassies for? I was like, are you going to like jump over the fence and get in and be like, I'm British, keep me safe? You know, what
Aye,
was the is it just because
or
the
the,
army would be there, or
aye, or the British government decides to turn on you, so you go to the Chinese embassy for asylum.
and say that
No,
you've
I mean,
got
I can kind of
data?
understand where he's coming from. It's the whole idea that if stuff was to kick off internationally, you're right next to where you can get a bit of protection from your country, from your own
Oh, okay.
consulate, your own
Right,
embassy.
okay. I would do was fucking I'd kill a soldier, take his uniform, and then just pretend I was one of them.
Yeah. But you've been playing too many video games because I
I've
think
no
that's
and
what they do.
the thing is I never play video games. I've never played Call of Duty. I've never played any video game, man. The last video game I played was NBA Jam on the Super Nintendo. I've not played computers since then.
Really?
That it
That's
does not interest me. I find it the biggest fucking waste of time, and I hate them. And I don't hate them. I just find it a waste of time. But I don't know. I should maybe get into it. I don't know. You are you into you like a game and do you like
I've not had time for ages, but aye, big time gamer. Big
oh,
time.
aye,
Usually in the winter, I'll just lose myself in video games through the winter. Love it. Absolutely love
oh,
it.
aye,
Aye.
brilliant, man,
I've
brilliant.
got a gaming PC sitting down here, and I don't. It doesn't get much use, but I've got the PlayStation 4, and my youngest son pinched my Xbox. He's got that round the road, but I played Hitman on that. That was fucking brilliant. Hitman's
Hitman
brilliant. Aye,
look a bit like a Hitman.
thank you.
I've just never got into it, man. It's fucking no my
You're too
thing.
busy being an international podcasting content creator
Aye.
who has got a successful, not only a successful YouTube channel, but would you like to tell the viewers and listeners what your Instagram's up to these days?
Oh, what do you mean follower wise? I
Yes.
went about it's 8,000 followers I got, which kind of means I've got the most followers in Loch Goylehead, which is kind of a thing to be proud of.
Aye. I think you could probably go out and add that to the plaque at the end of your driveway.
I just add it in the bottom.
Aye.
The funny thing is with that, I don't know if all these numbers and that make much sense. Cause see on my YouTube, I've not posted a video for over a week or whatever, and I checked it, and I lost like 8 subscribers in one night. And I was like, so why does like 8 subscribers just disappear overnight? And then over the next few days, I gained another 6. So why is if there's no videos on, what did 8 people watch the videos and think, fuck, I don't like this, unsubscribe?
No, it's what YouTube clears out accounts that are inactive or spoof accounts that have been set up for trolling, that type of thing, or it could be banned accounts. And periodically, it's like they send the fucking minesweeper through just to clear out
Okay.
dodgy accounts or old accounts.
Oh,
So
maybe
aye,
that's why. Maybe that's why. Um, you
we
want
should
to
have been
hear
running
what?
a fucking spreadsheet for the start of this, Neil, to track your subscriber numbers because
Well, the
you know
thing
what I
is,
mean.
I
With
like I
the bar
says to
graph
you,
going like that.
like I says to you before, I sent Lewis the picture when it was 420 because it was funny because haha 420 stoner talk and all that,
Yeah.
and and then I look and it's like way down to like 320 odd, well like 12,300 something. So I'm like fucking hell, it's a bit weird. I don't know if the numbers mean it. I don't know what the
The
deal in this.
important part there is the fucking 12,000.
You know, but it's like sometimes you need to wonder. Like I start thinking, who was that guy? Did he put on a video and think, I don't fucking like this guy? I'm unsubscribing, you know, like just unsubscribe straight away. But I don't really take it personally. It is what it is, man. You know, it's what it is.
So for the guys that are watching the live video just now, for all Neil thinks the numbers don't matter, and for in a lot of ways he's right. Right, you're right, Neil. The numbers don't matter.
Thanks.
However, up and comers like us, wannabes like us, um, if you are watching this video, if you're watching this video, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it later on or whatever, and you're not subscribed, the subscribe button's just sitting down on the right hand side there, just down to the right. Just click it now, subscribe, hit the bell, and hit the like button as well, right? And it's just because for mature grown ups like us, numbers don't matter. Well, one number matters, and it's the fucking length of your cock. Haha. But numbers don't matter, right? They don't. But just give us good numbers, guys.
Aye.
Subscribe and like. Because we were at 97 and we're now down at 95.
Oh, see, this is what I mean. I
Aye.
think it's probably
Let's get us to 100 tonight. Let's
Yeah,
get us to 100.
it's probably a connection. There's probably a connection with why the two people come off and then why mine come off. Probably people were listening and were thinking, "Fuck this! I can't be a
It
part of
could
this."
be
And then they
that,
just
or it's YouTube's got a vendetta against guys with beards.
mm, could be. You want to hear what happened to me yesterday?
I do.
A few things happened to me yesterday, but anyway, it was my oldest. It was my oldest boy's birthday. So he stayed
Happy
off.
birthday.
He stayed off his work. He had the day off and that, and then we just took him out. He's still young, you know what I mean? So we took him out. We just went out always. So it was the 5 years went out, and we're in Braehead, and Gemma's in a shop. And Braehead's kind of weird. It's fine. It's kind of weird, but we're standing. You know how on the outside where you can look over the glass balcony thing, you can look over it. So we're standing there just doing nothing. I think we were standing just talking or looking at people, whatever. Gemma's in the shop, and this security guard comes up to us, and he says to Taylor, he says, "Could you just take your hood down for a second?" And Taylor's like, "What? All right." I was like wondering
How
why.
old's Taylor?
15 yesterday.
Right.
So he took it down, and then the guy was like, "All right, that's great." And I was like, "Whoa!" I says, "Wait a
Aye.
minute, what you just? Why?" I thought he wanted to see something. If he like take it down, and well, I don't know why, but I was like, "Wait a minute." I says, what you telling him to take it down for?" He says, "Oh, it's just for the cameras." I says, "Oh, fuck off." I says, "No." I says, "Taylor, put your hood back up." So he puts his
Aye.
hood back up, and I says, "Mate, what about this guy here with the hat?" I says, "And I just fucking passed that guy. A guy just walked by us with this big fucking wig. It was fucking terrible." I says, "What about him? You can't. What the fuck?" And he's like, "Well, it's just because the camera." I says, "You can't tell people what to wear, mate." I
No.
says, "You're fucking not on." I says, "Listen, if you don't want an altercation, you need to just leave the now. This is
Nice
getting a
one.
bit
Quite
weird."
right, mate. Quite right.
Anyway, he goes on, and we just laugh at him. He followed us all the way around the fucking shop, the Braehead. So like, we went over this side, we went down up there, down the stair, up the stair, and we came out a shop once, and it was like a big standoff. He's standing right there, just staring right at us. This weird guy.
Did they have a
And I'm like,
mask on?
he had the mask on, but I think that's probably the problem because we are the fucking degenerates who just walk about and don't, well, no saving lives and all that, right? And I'm like, my whole argument is like the only reason we're putting on masks is so other people don't think you're a dick. That's the
Yep.
only fucking. We don't believe that it does anything. Or we really nobody fucking believes. Or there will be people who do believe but that's beside the point. But it's like
But
so
they're no
that's the only
friends
reason.
of ours in the chat. We need to worry about that.
I mean, even that. So I'm standing there. And that's what, and I think it's they get annoyed with that. But honestly, it was weird being out. Like when you walk in a place, it's kind of like they live. And I don't. If I was a psychopath,
Yes.
I could see how people get into that mindset and end up shooting up a fucking
Mate, I
shopping
would have had
centre.
a rage on. I would have. I'm older than you and should know better, but I would have had a fucking rage. I
Oh
would
well,
have.
I just laughed. I just like laughed off. I was like, mate, you're not on. You need to fucking go. This is no happening, man. I was like, you can't tell people what to. You can't tell people how to dress. We can't. But the thing is, it's like, what about the guy with the hat?
Aye.
What's the difference?
Who probably also had a fucking mask on.
Aye, so what's the difference? And I'm like, why are we do? Why you? It's just another example along this fucking road that we've went in for the past 2 years of people are super cool telling other people you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, why the fuck? Why are you coming up telling me what? Like telling him to take his hood off? And I
No.
kind of had to say to Taylor, I was like, listen, if you're out yourself, don't argue with these guys if a security guard says this. But you need to know a security guard is basically he's not really got much
Yep.
power anywhere. Even in his own life, he has no fucking power, and that's why he's doing. The guy was unhappy. He's obviously fucking unhappy, right? Whatever. But you can't argue with these guys because then
No.
it causes a problem, beating up the
Just
security guard, and then
shoplift
it goes down
instead.
the line.
Just go in and lift
Man,
stuff.
they will tell me a story about one of their mates that shoplift. He says, "Oh, he went in and put these shorts on over these other shorts and ran right out of the shop." I was like, "Oh, fucking yes!" There's something going on with that age group, man, who have no. They never they've no jumped on this the protest green hair brigade thing. They've no
Aye.
jumped on. There's something like under 17s right now. They're a weird. They're just like us growing up, man. They were just like what we were growing up, and it's kind of nice and
Aye.
refreshing to see. You know, all their mates are the same. They're kind of like nice, just nice, normal, logical thinking boys. You know, but it was just weird that the guy comes up and he imagine doing that as a job. Imagine that was your
Oh,
job
but
and you
they do
get
it for the power, man. They do it for the power.
oh aye.
We'll maybe
Aye.
go into it later on, the video that I'm sure folk have seen it, but the video of the Australian police officer basically saying, I'm not skilled at anything else, so that's why I do this job and all that, as he's marching
Oh
in
aye.
his riot gear to club innocent people. We'll maybe come to that later on, but aye, these folk, the security guard thing, I mean, it is the running joke, isn't it? The security guard thing, they wanted to be in the police, but they
Aye.
were too
It's
fat or
just
dumb or
but it's
whatever.
like it's so weird that they come up with this. They're not prepared to like. It's a real disconnect when you're talking to him. I'm like, mate, I'm here just walking about these shops
Aye.
because he's going to buy a new trackie or whatever, and well, we can talk, and you can tell me why you're asking him to do it. It doesn't
Yep.
need to be this fucking like you're the authority because you're not. I will not fuck it. I'm quite happy to be
Aye,
up
oh
here
aye, and just
and
chuck
then
him right
walk
over the
out.
balcony.
Aye, and fucking hope you die. No, it's just like you don't want to fight with anybody, but
It's the
like, come on.
fancy dress thing, and I've talked about it before. You know, you put a yellow fucking high vis vest on, and that's it. You think you're the fucking berries, and you can go around and tell folk what to do. I remember going up to in Glasgow, and I've not been in Glasgow for a long time, other than the other day, which we'll talk about
Aye.
later on what you and I were up to. But I've not been in Glasgow properly for a while. But there used to be the plastic police walking about in identical uniforms to the police, but there was a slight green thing they had on rather than the
Aye.
blue. But it was
Yeah.
almost that you couldn't, if you came from another country, you would assume they were police officers, but they're not. It's the Glasgow City Council,
Oh yeah.
compliance officers, whatever. And I was standing having a smoke outside Central Station, and there's two of them standing. And Central Station, for those that don't know, it's rough as fuck. It's like Manchester Piccadilly station outside where it's where all the junkies hanging about. It can be rough as fuck, even in the middle of the day. And there was junkies hanging about, and a couple of them were being a nuisance to themselves, asking folk for money. And there's two of these plastic coppers, or we would call them plastic police. Two plastic police standing, and I'm just standing having a smoke, and I'm watching the interaction, right? But these plastic police, they're not interested in actually anything to do with public order or public nuisance.
Yeah.
They're watching to see if you drop your fag out. Because I get caught with them before, two undercover ones before outside Queen Street Station.
Undercover.
Undercover ones. I can tell the story if you want in a minute. But so I'm standing back and I'm just watching these two fucking cunts with their fancy dress costumes on, standing around and not doing anything about what the junkies were doing, the obvious antisocial behaviour for the junkies. So I eventually went up to them and I says, what are yous? Are yous the actual police? No, we're community support officers. I says, what does that mean? We're here, and he gave me some explanation. I says, so what you dressed up as a police for? And he says, what do you mean? I says, look at your uniform, it's identical. What you dressed up as a police for? He says, no, we're not. We're different. We support the police. I says, why don't you do something about them harassing folk for money and all that? And he says, well, that's not really our remit and stuff. I says, your fucking remit's to try and fine people for dropping stuff in the street, isn't it? But you know what? I could feel my rage. I could feel my rage coming up. But it does go back to me.
Back up and being like,
aye,
that's this fucking crazy man. He used to be in a cult.
Bring your fucking back up
on a rampage.
But the undercover ones, man, and it was my own fault. It was a Sunday afternoon. I had to get the train to Aberdeen because I had a job up north at Aberdeen the following day on the Monday. And this was the last train I could get to Aberdeen. So I was standing outside the station and I had my fucking Sainsbury's bag with my meal deal in it for the journey. And I was finishing a roll up and I've dropped the fag end on the ground, right? Which I shouldn't have done. Shouldn't have done it. But I'd clocked two middle-aged women with black jackets on, but just kind of dressed, normally, but the heavy black coats on, crossing the street and kind of standing a bit further down from me. And as soon as I dropped the fag out and picked up my Sainsbury's bag, they came in front of me and they had a Velcro section, one of them had a Velcro section in front of the jacket and lifted it up. And it was like police community support officer underneath this Velcro thingy. And she says, we've got you on CCTV dropping the fag out. I says, right, fair dues. I'll just put it in the bin. And she went, no, that doesn't make any difference. We need to give you an on-the-spot fine. And I says, right, so if I pick up the cigarette end and put it in the bin, that won't make any difference. No, that doesn't make any difference. So I didn't pick it up. I just left it. And she says, have you got any ID on you? And I says, no. Now, I knew the law. I know the law. They don't have the power of arrest. They don't have the power to detain or anything like that. But they can follow you. And I was like weighing it up in my mind. This is the last train to Aberdeen. And so I had this fucking scenario where I would walk away from them, tell them to go fuck themselves, walk away, get on the train. But they would follow the train, and they would speak to the fucking conductor. And can you hold the train? The police are on their way, because that's what they would do. They would just phone the police or
Honestly,
radio the police. So eventually, I had to show them like my name on my bank card and tell them my address, and then a few weeks later I got the £35 fine through, and the cigarette doubt's probably still lying there. Do you know what I mean?
That's really
Wankers.
mental, man. I always thought the way I think a fagged out should be like taken care of is you spark it up with a Zippo first, and then when you get to the end of it, you just flick it. You know, like a Hollywood movie star. You know, as if you're blowing up a fucking
If
oil
you haven't done
refinery.
that, you've not smoked a cigarette.
Nah, that's what I mean. I think every fag that should be allowed. Like they just say, nah, he's doing the Hollywood movie star bit.
Aye.
That's a weird. I fuck them all. Fuck them. There was a guy once who a bus pulled out and I'm parked here. And I'm like, the bus is fucking in my road. The bus is going to need to fucking reverse. I don't give a fuck. Move the bus back. And then a guy jumped out his car behind me and come up to the van and was like, I'm the fucking police. You move back. I'm like, mate, you're wearing normal fucking clothes. And then he flashed a kind of badge thing at me and then put it away.
Aye, right,
And I'm
okay.
like, right, all right. I'm saying, aye, cool. I said, I don't give a fuck. Get the bus to move in. Go. He's the one in the wrong. It was a matter of principle at this point. I was like, no, I'm not. It's the guy fucking saw what was going on. Anyway, I saw the guy again the next week or whatever, and he was a parking attendant to give out fucking tickets. And I was like, mate, all right. I says, how's it going? He went, aye, how's it going, mate? I says, see, the other day you told me you were a fucking cop. And he went, oh, I'm a cop. I says, mate, you're checking the fucking pay and display. You fucking dick. Why are you fucking
Fuck's
telling people you're a
sake.
hangman? So anyway, it went on. And every time I was in Dumbarton, I would see him. So the other time I was in, my brother was in the van and I says, I'll watch this. So we beeped the horn and rolled the windows down. I went, all right, mate, how we doing? And he went, all right, boys. We says, get it fucking up, you fucking dick. And then just drove away.
That's the only way to deal with it, other than fucking
just
smashing
like
his cunt in.
it was funny because the way the guy looked over. All right, boys, how we doing? You're basically go and fuck yourself, mate. It's just I don't. This authority hang on. It's weird, man. I don't know why we do this. Why we want to tell other people. Oh, I'm in the authority, so I'm allowed to tell you. It's like, what are you talking about? You're allowed to tell me. You can't tell me what to do. Go and fuck yourself.
That is the only
it's
fucking way to
accepted.
deal with it. Years ago, when Cam was really young, we'd cancelled our TV licence. Because we generally when they watching the TV, and I was on this kind of sort of fucking semi-moral crusade about it. We're culturally bankrupting ourselves watching shite on TV, so we just watch box sets of West Wing and stuff like that on a DVD player. So cancelled the TV licence, and one Saturday, so Cam was about 3 or 4. This Saturday, a car drives up outside where we lived. So the living room, there's a really good view of the street. So you see a car drive, you hear it, and you know it's coming to you. So the next thing, there was a knock at the front door. We actually only ever used the side door, but they came at the front door. So knocked the front door, opened the front door, and there's 2 guys standing there, and they're both like that, flipping open the fucking ID wallet. TV licence inspectors. Now,
Hilarious.
what I know now about the law and all that, I would have just laughed and went, "Go fuck yourselves," and shut the door, because they've got no right to end. They've got as much right as you and I going to Howland's house and demanding that he sign up for Patreon, right?
Buy a hoodie.
Exactly. We've got the equivalent rights to do that to him as the TV licence folk have got to do into you. So of course I stupidly am like try to be the good citizen. I'm like, yeah, come in. So I come in and I let them turn my telly on and go through all the channels, and it's just the black static and all that because it wasn't connected. But meanwhile, Cam's being like a 3 or 4-year-old, he'd bunk beds delivered that day. So I was just in the process of starting building. So he's all excited and he's trying to say to the guys, I get bunk beds today. And they just fucking blanked him. And I thought, man, not only have you taken up a fucking cunt job, you're also acting like a fucking cunt. The wee guy's fucking excited. You know what I mean? Who the fuck? You imagine getting into a customer's house, right? You've had your fucking espresso, you've had your Viagra, and then his wee boy's like, I've got new bunk beds. You'd be like, oh, that's great, wee man. Hold on now. You'd adjust yourself so you didn't poke the wee guy in the eye with it. And you'd go, show me your bunk beds. You know what I mean? These
just
folk
a
are fucking cunts.
it's a crazy mindset to get in. I don't know what it is, if it's a lack of something, maybe when they were younger, or and they want authority or that. It's weird, but the TV license is the craziest thing. I seen a thing on Facebook, like when I was on Facebook, and it was like how to get rid of the TV license, guys. And I was like, do people actually pay the TV? I thought this was a thing that was optional. I've never fucking done it. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm like, you need to be shitting me that you want me to pay a license to watch a fucking channel. It blew my mind. I was like, I thought the TV license was always a joke kind of thing that nobody really bothered with, but it was like, oh, you need to pay it or they come and get you. And then I was like, but I saw it and I was like, people don't actually pay this thing. But that's the beauty of living on Millionaires Row. We don't generally get the wee pricks like that coming up annoying us, because we have this mad status fucking thing in the world, you know. Like, no, we don't go there and look at these people because they would shout at us, you know. And fucking
I think
weird,
it's that. I think that's definitely part of it. And I
Aye.
think the other thing that puts them off visiting the houses in your road is the general fucking state of the road, because you don't pay your fees.
try and drive up and
Boom,
fucking
boom, 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 boom. Oh, fucking punctured my tyre.
But it's it's the authority thing's it's a weird mindset. It's a weird mindset.
So we've got breaking news, Neil. We've got breaking news. We've got breaking news. Howlin has succumbed to the peer pressure and the threats of us coming to visit him, pretending we're TV licence inspectors, and he has signed up to Patreon. So congratulations, Howlin. You're now a producer. I can't actually check the status of producer you've got, whether it's producer or executive producer, but cheers, Howlin, man. Genuinely, that's appreciated.
Yeah, nice one, man. Nice one. Oh, that's great. He's probably just left this and he's away to watch all the fucking members only one, get his money's worth. What else?
You'll have them all opening different tabs, playing at the same time.
All at the same time.
Just this cacophony of our voices.
What else is happening in the comments? There's fucking millions of them.
Millions of comments. It's mostly the guys pattering each other, man, which is fucking superb. It's superb.
Job and Knock had a funny dad joke.
Right, read it out, Cam.
What do you call a security guard working outside of a Samsung shop? A guardian of the galaxy.
Boom.
Ooh.
Well done, Job and Knock. I've invited him on my new show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I invited him on for Friday, but he's not confirmed that he's going to be on Friday. But I've got a guest on lined up tomorrow. International, Neil. I've started this new YouTube show. Just search YouTube for Scottish content creator.
If you tell people that this show is basically just this podcast is basically just to promote Mark's other stuff and Patreon and
Patreon.
So everybody knows
if he's not fucking include that yet.
And the merch as well.
And the merch. So there's a new YouTube show starting tomorrow. Well, it might be available to watch tomorrow night. But I decided to try and learn from what we've achieved here, Neil, on Social Media Ruins Everything, and just go international for the start. So I've got NY Woodworks.
Oh, good.
A guy called Al Schultz. He's on tomorrow. So that should be interesting. Former United States Marine. Now seems like a pretty skilled carpenter. I'm not an expert in that type of stuff, but his work looks fucking hot. Looks shit hot. So he's going to be on tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about his journey to becoming a woodworker, maybe a wee bit about his life in the military, if he's comfortable talking about that, the beard life, because he's got a fucking monster beard.
Life.
He's into his podcasts, so yeah, it'll be quite good. Looking forward to that.
So that's the new show. That's the new show.
It's a new show.
You're just going to interview people, normal people who are doing stuff.
The idea being, it's just to speak to dudes that are doing shit, you know. So, and then Dan from Job and Not Podcast. You know,
good.
So real dudes, real men, and then Dan. No, I've got Dan on because Dan's story's a great story, and I listened to him speaking to you.
He's an inventor
on his podcast. Exactly, and I felt he didn't go into it enough. I was left with loads of questions, so I'll be grilling him about how he became an inventor and the kind of mileage he gets out of his massive cock. So you and I had a hot date on Tuesday, Neil.
Yeah, Tuesday. I would Frankie Boyle. I thought it was amazing. I was thinking about it the next day, and I was like, laughed like for when he came on till he went off. Every single part was fucking
It was brilliant.
really. It was great, man. It was brilliant. It was really good because, like I says at the time, you go to the stand to watch, like, I don't know, like Glasgow uni students, you know what I mean, come up and try and do a bit and talk about fucking whatever TikTok or whatever bullshit they talk about, you know, like, yeah, try to ride a bird, yeah, like all that stuff. I'm like, this is no funny, and it drains you. You're like, what the fuck is, I paid money? I don't know, it might
Yeah.
have only been £3 to go and see them, but it's like, fucking hell, I've had to drive down here, you know?
Yeah.
And but no, it was brilliant. I thought
he
it
was
was
good.
great.
Do you know, there was a couple of observations I had right off the bat. One, he looks, in my opinion, he looks very different in person. Now, he seems to have lost a bit of weight, and his hair's tidier, and he's got his beard shaved quite short. But I felt it looked different. Like, I genuinely thought I would probably walk past him in the street and not realise it was Frankie Boyle. Because he's not
Aye.
got, I mean, his signature for ages was the big red beard, and then before that he's fairly tall, and he was quite skinny, and he had the red hair, and his hair's gone darker and all that. The other thing that jumped out at me was the clipboard with his notes, because the shows that he's doing at the Glee Club are basically him testing material for his tour. And to me, that was just fucking brilliant, man. Just the guy coming out with stuff that he's written down, man. He's just written ideas down and he's testing them on us. And he's actually saying, right, I don't know whether this bit's going to be in the show, blah, blah, blah. And he'd do a bit, or he would do a bit about like Prince Andrew or whatever. And he'd be like, so obviously I won't be doing that on the BBC, you know. And it was fucking brilliant.
I like
Genuinely
that.
really, really
I,
good.
I like that way. I like that better. I think, man. I like all that. See when they come out and it's. I suppose it's an act and they put on a show for like when they go. It's better for DVDs or whatever or telly rather than standing there with a clipboard. But I suppose if you're there, it's quite nice and you can see them. You know, I
Aye.
like all that stuff. Though it's funny how we like behind the scenes so much and reality so much that that's not an actual thing, like a thing. You know, like on a Netflix or that where you actually see the comedian start and then work out his act, you know,
No,
at the end. It's like,
I think you've got the world of like that Frankie Boyle displayed the other night, where he was basically working through his material. And years ago, he had a podcast where it was the recordings of him at clubs like the Glee Club working through his material. He actually had that as a podcast. I would listen to it at work.
did you produce that podcast?
I gave him all the tips. I said to him, look, man, I'm so busy producing loads of international podcasts, I don't have time to produce yours. But, you know, if you're needing any consultation, he's like, listen, big man, just tell me everything. And I was like, right, no bother. But aye, so you've got the sort of him, the kind of behind the scenes of him basically rehearsing his sets for his future tour. And then you've got what Paul Smith puts out, where it's behind the scenes of his current UK tour. So comedy fans go and find Paul Smith's channel on YouTube.
Yeah, that's I quite
it's
enjoy
really
his
interesting.
videos. I like his videos. I think they're great. I like seeing all the behind the scenes stuff. Maybe that's just what we're into. We've seen enough fake stuff that we just want to see the behind the scenes. We just want to see iPhone footage of what people are up to.
Aye,
That's all.
the bits,
all we're doing.
the bits of him standing at the side of the stage, and he's clearly got the nervous energy / adrenaline, and he's kind of bouncing up and down, and he's getting ready to go on. He'll turn around and he's talking to the guy that's filming it. Aye, I mean that it's ridiculously mundane, but it's also really, really interesting, because this is a really fucking funny comedian who has cut his teeth in the game. He got made famous through Facebook videos, and now he's doing decent sized theatres in small arenas up and down the country. And this is what he goes through before he goes on stage.
I find a lot of the background stuff sometimes just as interesting as the actual finished product. Like at that,
totally.
we were recording a gig the other weekend, that last weekend, and see, just watching the guys do like the sound check and stuff like that. I love seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a wee bit behind the scenes that you don't usually see.
Yeah, that's it. It's like when you go and see. That's how I like to go and see all the old acts. See, like James Taylor and all that. I know people might not like James Taylor, but I
Taylor,
think
the
he's fucking
musician.
brilliant. James Taylor, the musician, aye.
Oh,
Aye, he's
mate.
brilliant.
You know
Oh,
I've seen
saw him at Edinburgh
Fire,
Castle.
I've seen Rain. He's fucking.
Oh, he's immense.
But that's how I like to go and see all these old guys again, because they'll fuck while they're tuning a guitar, whatever the fuck they're doing, they'll tell you a wee story about this and that, and it's just entertaining. It's just
Do you
nice.
know his song Close? Do you know his song Close Your Eyes? and
Yeah.
it's got a line in it. The sun is slowly sinking and the moon is gently rising, right?
Uh-huh.
And he wrote that as a lullaby to his kids.
Right.
We went to see him at Edinburgh Castle, and it was
Oh, aye.
towards the end of the summer, and beautiful night. Beautiful
Oh,
sun was
brilliant.
splitting the sky all day, and
Mm.
at the end of the set, his encore, his final song, he played that because where
Oh,
we
I
were
right.
sitting in
Okay.
Edinburgh Castle, the sun was setting and the moon was rising. And mate,
Brilliant.
honestly, it was like
Brilliant.
hairs in your arm, the back of your neck standing on end, and it was just him and his guitar. He'd no backup at all,
Oh,
and he'd
that's
done
it,
that
man. It's
song,
brilliant.
and then basically stood up. He stood up and he just went like this. Oh, you can't even see it. He pulled the pockets out of his jeans,
Uh-huh.
and as if to say, "I've got nothing
That's it.
else." Because it was so fucking perfect, that
Right.
song,
He's
as the
he's
sun was
fucking
setting and the moon was rising.
brilliant, man.
Now
All
you
these guys.
the skill to be able to do that, to identify, just to be
Yeah.
in that moment, going right, looking about and pulling out of your arsenal, one of his best songs, and
Aye.
playing that
It's
as your closer.
all these guys are good. I don't know. These guys are on a different fucking a different no brainwave. They're on a different frequency. I think, man, they're tuned into something that we can't get into. Really, all these guys. But like when he was in the Hydro, Bonnie Raitt was there. You know, the country singer. So
Aye.
she came out. It was a great fucking. It's me, mum, who went because she likes them as well. It was a great night. But all the guys are great. I like to go and see them. The Water Boys, I think they're back playing the end of October, which I might go and see because I quite like Mike Scott and all that.
He's good.
He wrote Hole of the Moon, right? I mean, I see
Aye.
guys slagging him. I see guys on his Twitter or whatever, and I'm like, you need to fucking give the guy a fucking break. He wrote Hole of the Moon. It's not a normal fucking thing. It's like he wrote that song. You need to give the guy a break for the rest of his days. Just let him
Yep.
fucking do what he's doing, you know. But I saw the guys tell you all the stories and that. It's just a bit of entertainment. It's just a nice. I prefer that sort of entertainment, you know.
Aye.
There's
Definitely.
another artist. There's another artist. Well, like my playlist that I'll listen to most of the time. It sounds like a playlist for my suicide troop, right? It's the most depressing fucking. But I love that sort of music. So there's one artist, a female artist, and she's coming to Glasgow, and I'm going to go, nobody that I know likes that music. I say to them, "Do you like this?" And they're like, "Nah."
Who is
But,
it?
there's an artist called Aldous Harding, and
I know the name.
yeah, I really like her stuff. And the other one, Sharon Van Etten, which I really like as well. So I don't think she's touring in the UK, but Aldous Harding is, and everybody they say, "Oh, I like that sad, depressing stuff," and I'm like, "Oh, let put this on." And I'm like, "Nah, I can't get into that. It's just terrible." So I was wanting to go to that gig just to see the other people there,
I see what they look like.
just to see who are the people that are into the same music as me, you know,
Yeah.
which might be quite an interesting thing,
Aye.
you know. I
You
might end up
definitely need to do it.
I
Take
might
some
end up
pictures.
finding a new wife. I might find a new wife and fucking leave Gemma and
Or
the boys. Listen,
a
I've
new
got a new life.
husband.
Or a new husband. Anything's possible. It might just be an experience, you know.
I've been into Amy Mann's music since I first heard 4th of July, and it was played on. She was on, so I think it was Jonathan Ross or something like that, way back in the early 90s.
Right.
And I followed her career, and I kind of lost track towards the end of the 90s. And then I happened to listen to a podcast about 2005, and she was on it talking about an album that she'd just released called The Forgotten Arm. So,
aye.
and she was talking, she went through every single fucking song on the album and broke it down, because it's a concept album, and told the story behind it. And it was absolutely fascinating, and that got
Aye.
me right back into her. She's an acquired taste, but I think you might like her.
Acquired taste. I
Look
will
up,
look it up.
look up the Forgotten Arm album.
I'll look it
It's
up.
there's lines on that. There's a song. It's basically it's a story. It's a love story between a former army veteran who is who's got a drug problem and a school teacher, and they meet at the county fair. So it's basically, the album's a story of their relationship, and there's a song on the album where it's describing the state his life's in as a guy who's trying to get himself clean.
All right.
And
Story of my life.
I'm trying. Do you know what? It's because I'm on the spot. I'm trying to remember the line, but it's along the lines of that he's trying to present his life in a glass globe, but it's actually wreckage on the overpass, and just the way she phrases it, you can fucking see it. It's a guy that's trying to present his shit together, but actually his life's not just a car crash, it's wreckage on the overpass. It's a pile up, and it's just so good how she does it. Aye, Amy Mann. Anybody watching and listening, go and check Amy Mann out. She's fucking top notch. And an independent artist, she binned the record labels years ago. They wouldn't put one of her albums out, so she just had to sit out the term of her deal, and then left and just went independent.
Just to throw my hat into the ring as well, the front man for Men at Work, he's brilliant at doing all
Colin
that.
Hay.
Aye, because he's like he's still got his Glaswegian accent and all that, and while he's tuning his guitar, he'll just tell a wee story about why he started playing guitar or why he plays this certain guitar. It's brilliant, man.
His concerts, if you find his stuff on YouTube, his storytelling's great. I mean, he's a guy who's travelled the world and all that, moved to Australia when he was young for Glasgow. Another one worth checking out, Colin Hay.
It's cool, man. It's cool, man. It's nice. Their concerts and that are good, like that, you know what I mean? But
I think I'll find an alternative music. So yesterday, I wasn't feeling too clever yesterday, and I thought, have I picked? Well, I mean, obviously, and I've been honest about it, and I spoke about it at a wee bit of length on the members only show on Sunday night. I've kind of hidden myself away a wee bit, not because I'm scared of fucking viruses, but just maybe a bit of depression. And but on Saturday night, Cam and I were shooting video at a music gig, so I was in a small club, but it was packed full of people. And then obviously on Tuesday, you and I were at Frankie Boyle, so I'd been around people, and so yesterday I was like, my throat and all that, I felt a bit shit. So I worked until about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I just stopped, and I lay on the couch and watched a few documentaries. And one of the documentaries was a 2-parter about Garth Brooks. Now, I'm not a country music fan. I can listen to it, I can hear it, but I know you watched it as well. Neil, how fucking good is that documentary?
I mean, it was good, man. I watched it last night when I was working late, and he's very emotional, and he talks in quotes and like, see, Garth Brooks would be the guy that I would be if I had money, you know what I mean? Like, just without
I was
the
thinking
singing.
that, because he's driving through his farm and he's got the fire and all that, and I'm like, that's Neil. That's just Neil, man.
See when he starts talking about his family and he starts crying and shit. I'm like, I do that to people I'm out when I bump into them in the street when they're walking the dog, man, and I'll be like, oversharing to fucking all that. No, man, he just spoke it. He did say a lot of quotes. He did say an awful lot of quotes, which is fine, man. You know, he's a singer, he's a musician, so. You know?
There's one quote I actually paused and rewound and put it into my phone, and he's talking about there's a big bit of the first part of the documentary is just basically how he struggled to make it. He struggled to get a name for himself. This is obviously before the internet and all that, before you know, cunts like us can sit on YouTube and have people watching us and listening us and sending us money on Patreon and buying me a coffee and all that. But in all seriousness, right, he was a struggling guy, and him and his first wife, they'd moved to Tennessee, and they were living in a house with like 8 other people and struggling to pay the bills. She couldn't get a job because she didn't know how to fill out a job application, and they ended up both working in a shop selling boots. But he worked and he worked and he ground, and he was persistent. And his quote was that, well, this is what he said, and I wrote it down. He says, "You believe it, you love it, you stand for it, you put it out there. You get ready for whatever it brings back." And I was like, man, that's so fucking deep. Because his career cost him his first marriage. It cost him, for a while, his relationship with his kids, but it brought him fame and wealth. He's the highest earning or biggest selling solo artist in American history. He's got more platinum albums than the Beatles in America. He's got but that's part of what it brought to him, but it brought other shit as well.
Was it not about 1 million people they played to in Central Park?
In Central Park, it was 1 million people.
Crazy. Fucking crazy, man. I mean, how good is the sound going to be when you're fucking the 1 millionth person away right at the end?
But it's not about that. It's not back then. As now, it's just to say you've been there. I mean, now it'd be you've got your photos on Instagram. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
but
okay.
Back then, so you can say to your kids, I was there.
It's kind of like, I was thinking, if there's that many people standing, that amount of, like, the mass, how did the world know, like, fucking tip up or something? You know? It's like that. It's like there's so many people. That's so much weight, right? How did the park not just sink into the ground?
Aye.
But I see that quote you're talking about. The end of that bit, he goes, "I recorded it because he says, how can you not like that, huh?' or something like
Yeah.
that." And I put it on a story. I quite like that bit, so I'm going to keep that video and use it now and again because it's just Garth Brooks' big face fucking saying, "How can you not like that, huh?" You know.
Yeah, there's a comment just came in from Nathan Chestnut, Cam,
Aye,
the most recent one.
Aye, he says
So
that to me, and I was like, I don't know the story. Is he a murderer?
so he says his music's shit at its core, but it's good also hard to explain. I mean that's
Oh,
probably it.
I was looking at another comment that he put up.
Lots of bodies in G's
Aye, what does
basement.
that mean? Is that what is was he a convicted pedophile or something? Nah,
You need to follow up, Nathan Chestnut. You need to
because he
follow
says
up.
that to me yesterday, and I was like, well, I don't know.
So just quickly, right? We'll how long we've been going? We've been going for about 45 minutes, right? So we need to kind of address the chat. So some new names in the chat. Cam, do me a favour and scroll back up. We've got Green Grapes, who's not
How's
new
it
to us,
going?
but I haven't seen him in the chats before. Who else we got? We've got William Smith. Just got in the truck for the ride home. Thanks for listening, William. Hope you're doing well.
Sounds like a radio show, doesn't it?
It does. Well, we've got the hotline number, which we'll move on to now, I think.
Yeah, put the hotline up.
Hotline number. So we decided, right, we thought we'll give this a try on the live shows. We got a cheap pay-as-you-go burner phone, which is quite handy. We'll make our money back off it on the drug deals throughout the rest of the week. But we got a cheap pay-as-you-go phone. The number is on the screen. It's 07719 60. In fact, what am I doing? No.
Call the SMRE hotline 07719 690049. Ooh, I said 69.
So that's our number, 07719 69. I couldn't believe that was part of the number 69. I was like, fucking yes! 0049. You can listen, just phone in, man. And I know there's a lot of fucking pussies in the chat because they were saying at the start, oh, I'm not phoning that number. But Neil, we got a text message just as we went live.
Oh yeah.
Bang on 7 p.m. we got a text message. And this is what the text message says. Hi, is this the hotline to get advice on how to get a big willy?
It's interesting. It's
Very interesting. I wonder whether we should call that number, Neil.
What's he saying? What's Scotland's area code? +44. I
Nah,
see that. Oh, is it? No, I don't know. Whatever it is.
It's a 07 number. Aye, Scotland's +44. So let's give it a call and find out who the fuck this is. They're not going to answer early because they're a fucking pussy.
Oh, it was somebody who texted.
You're sitting there right now.
Aye, they're sitting in the chat, absolutely sweating.
Bullets! They're getting a voicemail left, Neil. You ready?
Please leave a message after the tone. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Right, who the fuck's this want to know about how to get a big cock? I'll put Neil on the line, he'll explain it.
Well, how to get a big cock? I don't know. I've got a small one. I don't know. I mean, I wish if you find the number, please let me know. But please reveal yourself, caller. Caller, reveal yourself.
Let's take another call. Falconhoof.
They've replied, shit, sorry. They've replied to the text message, shit, sorry. I don't know what that means.
That almost sounds like he's actually asking.
So somebody in the chat tonight has sent that text message to us, and we've called, and as Cam says, they've been shitting bricks when their phones rang. I don't know what the hassle would be. You just phone us up. You know us, right? You know us. Just phone us. And you can, if you get any problems with your missus, if you get a cry for help, maybe you've had a shite day at work, you've maybe got a joke to tell us, you can just phone the hotline. Or I've wasted money on this. Oh. That's good fucking Patreon money right there. We also set up an Instagram for the podcast as well. So it's just go on Instagram and it's SMRE Podcast. You're about to find it then. Cam's frantically trying to find it in the background. We got another text message.
Oh, what's this?
Cunts. And that's a Southern Ireland number, Neil.
Oh right, yeah, that's going to be fucking that howling fucking guy then, isn't it? I thought he was from New Zealand with the
Right, so whoever
swordfish.
whoever that was that wanted the advice about a big cock, they've said to call again. So I'll give them a phone. And I think there's a voicemail on it as well. So here we go.
Hello?
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where'd you come from?
Hello?
Well, I'm wasting money on this. That's good fucking Patreon
Hello?
money right there.
Hello? Hello?
Is that Michael Jackson? Is that Michael Jackson?
Hello?
Are you okay, Annie?
Are you okay, Annie?
Are you okay, Annie? Fucking hell.
Who do you think it is, Neil?
That's the fucking IRA. They're coming for us. And the rabbit got shot dead.
Right, who is it?
7 bags of chips, please.
What are you doing with that many bags of fucking chips, man?
How
Right,
are we
so
all
what's-
doing, boys?
Right, so
What's
who is it,
happening?
first of all? Who is it?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Well, Neil knows.
Neil knows. Do you know who it is, Neil?
Is it? I don't know. I'm trying to think, man. I can. The Irish accent is a funny one to hear. It's not a Southern Ireland number if it's
No, that was a
always that a
071
UK
one.
one. Or
That was
it's
UK.
well, let me guess. This is like a game. I guess who have you got hair?
Some.
Are you going for it? Do you want to go for a hair transplant?
Yeah.
Is
on the
you and
same
your,
with you.
are you and your wife wild swingers from Dundee?
No. No, it's a wild conspiracy.
So is it Rob Cassidy?
It's funny
is.
when you
Hi,
know
guys.
Yes, what do I win? What do I win?
Rob would be a good guy to get on your show as well. He's got a Facebook page with like 1 million people on it or something for the
Really?
festival stuff. Oh, I mean, he's famous in the
The
power
festival
tour world.
world. Aye. Is he interesting, but
Oh, he's super interesting.
Nah,
Ask him about his
boring as fuck.
threesome story.
his threesome story?
That's what you win, by the way. That's what you win.
That's what I win.
A night with Neil.
A night with Neil.
So what's happening today, Rob? What are you working on?
Finished off a kitchen today. And
Nice.
we're fitting out a utility for the customer. So that's
There we
that.
go.
He's quite an easy
good.
guy.
There you go. How's the new
We need
house?
to
Are
do
you
something
settling
different.
in?
'Cause I can't watch anything because there's like a 15, 20-second delay.
You just hear questions that we've asked like 20
yeah.
seconds ago.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that game, isn't it? You ask the question, then the answer with the answer to the next question. Aye, there is about a 20-second delay, Rob. Just the way the YouTube thing works.
YouTube. See, I wouldn't know. See, I'm not a content creator, you know.
No, I mean we've moved into the international sphere now, you know. So we're speaking to Irish guys, you know. I've got a New York guy coming on tomorrow on my own show, so yeah.
So Rob, are you
Upper
going to?
international, yeah.
So Rob, are you going to start your podcast? You will tell me you're going to start a podcast. You're going to start one.
Oh, fucking that podcast, honestly. Dan from Job and Knock knows that I've chatted to him for ages about it,
Uh-huh.
and I just never got it done.
Aye. Well, hey, there's never too late. It's never too late, Rob. Stop doubting your greatness.
Stop doubting your greatness. Never doubt your greatness, Rob. Never doubt that. One of the things that I want to do. Sorry, Rob.
Every person on the dog has a podcast these days.
But that doesn't matter because there's enough listeners. There's plenty of listeners to go around. One of the things that I want to try and do with the thing I'm starting on my own YouTube channel is for guys that are like creators or they're hard grafters, but they want to be podcasting, because that's one of the things that Al New York Woodwork said to me. He says, I'd love to do a podcast, and I'm like, mate, just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. So if obviously if I help Neil, if I help other people
Oh yeah.
move into this realm, and if I lead them as a guru, I mean, they can call me guru if they want.
My 2 cents on it as well. I had one for like a month or something, done a couple of episodes, and I just stopped. But it was fun while I did it. So, you know what I mean? I just went and done it, and then I kind of got bored of it, but at least I tried.
Aye.
Yeah, Rob should do it. Rob would be pretty good at it because he
I've
likes
got it
to.
all set up. It's all
Aye,
set up
well,
and ready to go. It's just
what are you waiting on? Is it some self-doubt issues that you want help
A
with?
sign, a
It
sign
is-
from
it is
Godfather.
self-doubt.
I bless you, my son.
No, it's just I don't know. It's just one of those. Everyone's doing a podcast, so you go, well, what am I going to speak about? Who are we going to get on? What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then just trying to schedule it all, and I'm like, you know, something. I'm too busy with work. I can't be sick. So
That's
it's just
understandable.
that on the back burner. I've
on the
got all the
back
kit. I
burner.
bought the mics and everything.
Have you got the mics in that? That's more than Dan's got for his.
I need
that's
probably to get the
the-
mic and get it all set up. And
I think that's fucking good. But the thing is, it's like what you're going to talk about. Your life experience is totally unique to you, Rob, which is, and somebody's going to listen to you and say, aye, man, that's maybe, I might try and
I
take
know.
a leaf out of Rob's book. It's like everybody's different, you know, everybody. So I don't know. Chase excellence, please, Rob. Please chase excellence.
it would be good because like that again, we've got 20,000 followers on that group, so it would be good to get that's a big lot of members to get. You know, you can get on
aye.
and chat it and stuff. So.
Can I just point something out here? We're paying for this call, Neil. I phoned him. I fucking phoned him. Right, Rob, cheers for phoning me. Bye.
Is
We
that him
fucking
away?
phoned him. And we're giving him fucking free advice that we're paying for.
That's funny. That's funny.
No,
That's
cheers
good.
for phoning, Rob, mate. That
That
was,
was
well, you
brilliant.
didn't
That was
actually phone. I phoned you, but
That was brilliant. That
I
was
think
good.
we've got a
That was good.
voicemail, Neil. I think we've got a voicemail, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to
Robert
access the
Cassidy.
voicemails on
Rob's just messaged. He hung up.
it. Oh, brilliant.
That's funny, man.
Aye, so there you go. So all these fucking pussies and cowards sitting in the chat tonight that are too scared to phone us. There you go. We're nice. We've helped Rob out. We've given him a wee shot in the arm. We boost our confidence, and we
Wee
paid
shot
for the
in the
privilege of doing that.
They're away. They're all out fucking collecting, stocking up on fuel, unleaded and diesel.
Aye.
That's where everybody's
Well, that
away.
brings me into something I was wanting to talk about because obviously in Scotland the army's been called in to drive ambulances.
Oh, is that right? Aye.
Aye, and so have firefighters and taxi drivers.
Taxi drivers.
Taxi drivers, and then it comes out through the week there because the media created this fucking thing about there being fuel shortages because 20 petrol stations out of 1,200 were low on fuel. So
It's
then it
just
comes out
fucking
that the army's going to get brought in to drive the
Aye.
fuel tankers. And I was thinking, you imagine you're a young guy and you joined the army a couple of years ago, right? And you're like, man, I'm going to go and serve my country and that and get a chance to get a gun and fucking go overseas and get into a few firefights, man. I've watched Saving Private Ryan and all that. And you've went through your basic training and everything. And then not only is there are the troops getting pulled out of Iraq, but you show up and it's like, what am I doing today? You're driving an ambulance. I'm driving a what? You're driving an ambulance. Well, who
I got
else
a
is
gun.
driving? Aye, who's sat there? Can I take my rifle with me? No, you can't take the rifle.
Aye.
Who else is driving the ambulance?
What?
John over here, and it's some guy with the that looks like a painter and decorator. He's got the dress shoes on and the turn up in the jeans and stuff like that. Who the fuck? He's a taxi driver.
He's a taxi driver, and the taxi driver's just shouting, "Fucking immigrants! Fucking immigrants!"
And you're
As
standing
per
with your
usual.
fucking camouflage fatigues on, thinking, "What the fuck am I doing in my life?" It's such a wee shame.
Fucking hell. Fucking man. Oh, the fuel things, man. I went into the fuel to get some in Morrison's, I think, and there's a guy standing there and there's a line of traffic. I'm like, what the fuck? And the guy comes up, oh, what you in for? I was like, unleaded. And he said, yeah, we've not actually got any of that. We've only got the super unleaded left. So would you want to go for that? Like, asking me to try it up. I'm like, nah. And I just drove away and I kind of brushed them off quite rude. But and Gemma was like, it's no his fault that the he's no the one that's got the fuel shortage. I'm like, I know it's no his fault, but he's accepting this bullshit behaviour and saying to his boss, so what do you want me to do? Stand in the forecourt and tell people?
With a mask
I know
on.
I know that you can see with your eyes that the things have got the yellow hazard thing over them and there's none there, but I'm just going to tell you as well. It's like, we've got so fucking soft, we need people to tell us, oh, by the way, there's no I can fucking see. There's
You
no
probably
fuel
have
now.
taken it. that better if it had been a soldier standing there telling you. Maybe they need to get the soldiers in to do that, man the forecourts. See if he'd come up to you with his army fatigues on and the fucking helmet with the night vision goggles propped up on top, and he's got his rifle and all that, and he'd come up and said, listen mate, they've only got the super unleaded. You'd be like, oh, okay, I'll take 20 gallons please.
I'd kill him and I'd steal his uniform and just pretend I was the soldier.
Now you'd end up driving an ambulance.
I driving an ambulance with a fucking racist taxi driver. The fucking immigrants. It's that. And I went and it was £30 maximum spend. See on the thing. And I used it on, I'd done it, and then at like £29.80, I felt it. You know, if you're doing one of the prepay ones, and then it stopped at 30 quid. They cut it off at 30 quid. Now I can see how a guy who's on the right side of like what's going on political and that could say this is an entrance into communism and you can only have that much fuel. I can see how that is, but I can also see I could have drove out and drove round and went and put another 30 quid in quite easily and nobody would have stopped me. So that's like, but see if you think about what are people doing with the fuel? What are they doing with the fuel? They're filling up a jerry can that gets you 20 litres, right?
Yep.
So say 20 litres is a trip for here to Glasgow, right? So the fuel runs out, right? Fuel runs out. Fucking camera.
Your camera's
the fuel runs out, and it's all right. We've got 20 litres. We've got 20 litres of fuel. What the fuck? Where are they going to go? Going to go on a day trip to Glasgow? The world's coming to an end. I want to go and see the People's Palace, you know, and drive down to fucking Glasgow with a 20 litre. It makes no sense. You need to have like 1,000 litre tank to make it worthwhile. What the fuck's the point? If the fuel runs out, what are you going to do?
The funny thing about panic buying is it was the same like last year as well. When shops and stuff, you have to be told to go and panic buy in order for it to become panic buying. If everyone if they never fucking said anything, man, if they just kept it under wraps, people would eventually just gone, it's weird, isn't it? Not much petrol. And they're coming going, it's fucking annoying, man. But now you've got hysteria and people fucking getting pissed off. Like, that's just fucking annoying, man. I fucking hate the media. Hate them.
That's what I mean. No, like, what are they? How like people like filling up 2 jerry cans, so you get 40 litres or 1 jerry. What the fuck are you going to do?
Exactly.
Honestly, where are you going to go? Where the fuck? See if the fuel runs out and we have none. We've run out of fuel. Who gives a fuck? What are we going to do? Oh, we're not going to be able to drive. I don't get. Oh, but the lorries can't. Fuck. It's all theatre. It's all fucking theatre.
Manufactured fucking bullshit. It's manufactured bullshit, and if folk can't fucking join the fucking dots between the media dropping some things in and ramping it up, and everything that happened over the last 18 years, you need to go down to fucking Specsavers and get yourself checked out, because it's exactly the fucking at the drop of a hat, the media can create a panic. The drop of a hat, and that's what they've done again. And folk are fucking idiots.
It's obviously as well to get folk to start using electric cars. But the strange thing is that as soon as everyone switches over to electric cars, what happens when you have a run on electricity?
Exactly. No, it's going to be rolling blackouts. It's going to be fucking postcode to postcode. Right, your postcode can charge your electric vehicles tonight. This postcode can't. That's what's fucking coming. That's what's coming. There's no fucking doubt about it.
I mean,
anybody that says otherwise can fuck off.
But see if they run out of fuel, so be it, man. Right? It's like I'm one of the, there's some people that don't mind if they saw the world burn down around them, but as long as you just leave them alone, I'm totally I don't give a fuck. Let it fucking burn down. I want things to collapse. I want fucking systems to collapse just so that it can be a bit of excitement, because there's no fucking challenges in the first world and we're just waiting for I'm wanting a massive collapse just so I've got something to fucking get excited about.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? You fucking... you know what I mean? So a gang fucking robbed your fucking house, stole your food, shagged you, fucking stole everything. Oh, that's fucking exciting. You know, it's like, I don't know why.
You'd have something to talk about in the podcast.
I know, but I just don't know why I want that sort of excitement. I don't know how I can't just settle with just normal. It's normal excitement, like football or something like that. Like the blue team's good, the green team's bad. Oh fuck! I don't know why I can't get excited with that fucking shit. I wish I could, man.
That reminds me of something Limmy said. Limmy was like, whenever he goes on a train or a plane, he's just like, I hope this thing fucking crashes, man. just for the fallout of it, just to see what it, like on a train or something like that.
Aye, fucking brilliant. Did you see? Did you ever see? Is it Limmy's brother or something? I don't know if it's his brother, but there was a video years ago, and he come on, and the video was called like how to lose all your Facebook friends in 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and he
Never
just
seen it.
I couldn't find it on. It was years ago, and he's got his Facebook page up, and he just goes through his friends list or whatever, and he just fucking goes mental and goes fucking crazy and slaughters every single one of them. And it was a really funny video. But they says it was Limmy's brother. I don't know if he's a comedian or whatever he is either.
His
I don't know
brother
if he's
get
even...
done for it was something like sectarian abuse or something crazy like that. His brother get done for it.
Probably, aye, probably.
So maybe
I
that
don't
wasn't like a comedy thing he was doing. That was just him on a Friday night when he had a couple of
I
cans.
think it sounded like that. It was just he just went wild in the video, but he had a tune playing, so the song would go, and then when the song would ramp up, he would just go in this big long rant. It's a work of art, really. I think, man. But it'd be great to find it. But I think it's long gone. You know, I think it's long gone.
Right, let's address some comments, and I think we're gonna address Howling. I've noticed he's just coming in as Howling tonight. So if you scroll back a wee bit, Cam, you might not be able to find it. But what I noticed he said was that he's followed the new SMRE on Instagram, but he's unfollowed me.
It's because you asked folk not to do it. Howland's the kind of guy that just goes right.
I want to fucking check. I'm going to check, right, and see if he's done that. He's getting blocked for everything, and we're keeping his fucking Patreon money. What else we got for Howling? Earlier on, he was commenting on the light shining on my head.
That was way back.
That was back at the start. The light setup's slightly different tonight.
I don't hate it. I don't think there's anything the matter with that.
You're not as obsessed with my head as Howling is.
He's probably just comparing it to his baldy head, like is mine like that? If I get a good baldy head, you know, Andy
He still follows me. He still follows me. Fucking
follows you,
yes.
fucking
yes. Gosh. His shit's good, but his shit on Instagram's good. I mean, he does fucking... Scott, you're looking for a new kitchen, mate. There you go, fucking...
I need to go for New Zealand to get it.
Oh, it's on manual focus, that's why. He'll send you over a... Howland's not in New Zealand.
But I thought he told me he was in New Zealand.
He just said he'd put €100 fuel into his car. That's Irish talk, isn't it? €100.
€100.
They don't say euros, they say euro.
Euros.
What else is saying there? I give it 6 months. Give it 6 months. Be worth noting, yous can't get truck drivers 6 months after Brexit. Imagine what it'd be like in 6 months. He's trying to tell us something about next month.
Have you been drinking, man? Has he been drinking?
He's been drinking the fucking petrol.
He's got the shakes there.
I think just what he means after 12 months.
Don't try and explain it for him.
Don't try and decipher that bullshit.
Right, so we're going to be, what time is it? We're going to be wrapping up here in about 10 minutes, Neil. We'll go to about 8:20. We'll be wrapping up the public live stream. Then we'll be jumping over onto Patreon for a Patreon live stream. So if you want to follow up, I've got a letter. I got a letter in the post, a handwritten letter. I don't remember. I felt like one of the Bronte sisters when I got this. It was like being back in the Edwardian days of letter writing when I opened this up and I found a handwritten letter. So I'll be reading that out, dissecting it on the members only live stream, which will be kicking off in about 12 minutes at patreon.com/SMRE.
Howland chose the right day to sign up.
He did. He chose the right day to sign up. So yeah, that was good of him doing that. So for the next 12 minutes, Neil, what have we got to talk about? Cam, jump, quick, Cam, jump.
Are you doing the letter? Are you reading the letter?
No, I'm going to save that because that's going to take ages because I need to fucking dive fucking sect
What
it.
have we got in?
We've got a few things. Nancy Pelosi showing up on fucking Coronation Street. This was a fucking screamer. Nancy Pelosi, the fucking Skeletor fucking faced witch of American politics, is for some reason in Manchester.
It would have been better if Haley was there. You know, Haley, the transsexual. That would have probably been better. I don't watch her, but I think she was in. That was Roy's wife, like so many years ago. So I don't know how long that's going to be. At least 15 years ago. Aye, why should it's a funny one? Why they
No,
go
there's no explanation. It's just a fucking picture of folk for Coronation Street and Nancy Pelosi.
It's fucking brilliant, man.
Do you
This is
remember
how-
during the lockdown, she did a video from her kitchen. She's going into her fridge. Her fridge, she's got like a $50,000 fridge, and she's going, yeah, we've got this ice cream and all that gets imported. And there's folk up and down America who aren't allowed to go to work because of the lockdown thing and all that, you know. Can't feed their kids, but there she is, the fucking witch. Fucking, I can't stand politicians like that.
Some people live different lives, you know, and she's obviously. I mean, being a politician's like good. Like, if you want to be financially successful, you can make good dough at it, man. Like good fucking dough, more than a joiner anyway. Fuck's sake.
Career politicians. Did you see the videos of Keir Starmer getting heckled by at the Labour Party conference by Labour supporters? Fucking hilarious, man. The guy's got the personality of, you know when you lose a sock in the washing machine. See, that sock has got more personality. Because that sock didn't want to be around anymore, so I just can't compete with other socks, man. I'm out here, I'm shite, and it just disappears. He's got less personality than that sock, and he's getting absolutely heckled by his own people.
He always comes across. If I don't watch a lot, but I see him, and it's always as if he's like doing that. You know, when somebody's they've no feeling well, or they're no well, but they want you to know that they're no well, so it changes their voice. Like there's some people have illnesses, right? And it changes their voice. Like, yeah, I'm not feeling very well. I'm not feeling. It's like, what? I can talk exactly the same when I'm sick or ill. I can talk exactly the same. I don't know why they do it. He seems as if he comes across like that. Like, yeah,
all the time.
It's just, we're going to do this and we're going to do this and that.
Yeah, we really care about people with cervixes.
They should just
all that stuff about somebody said only women can have a cervix, and he came out and said no, that's not true. And
no, I don't remember that. But
that was through the fucking week, man.
We're just there. He probably he probably buys books for that book.
He's the leader of the Labour Party. The Labour Party were the political party of fucking miners, right? Hardcore working class folk down the fucking pub every night after work, a few beers up the road, beat up the wife and kids, and then get into a tin bath in front of the coal fire, right? And they were the people, the Labour Party. Now you get the leader of the fucking Labour Party going, yes, not all women, it's not only women that have cervix, men can have a cervix as well. Can you imagine being an 89-year-old former miner up in Leeds, right? And you're hearing that, and you'd be like, what the fuck?
Remind me, what is a cervix? Please remind me.
A cervix is right up the top of the vagina, and it has a flap that opens up, and when the womb pushes the baby out through the cervix into the vagina, and then you've got three.
Keir Starmer's head looks like it got stuck in his mum's cervix when he was coming out. It's just pure squashed, like sand being squashed into a sandcastle.
I don't, but I think he's wrong. Is he no factually incorrect there? I don't think men
don't get us
can have
cancelled. Don't get us cancelled.
Oh no, but I don't think that's. I think that's just a thing. I don't think like the anatomy. That's a thing. I don't think.
I don't think the anatomy is a thing anymore. Anatomy.
All right.
Anatomy is not.
I'm all for it, man.
A signal or indicator of gender. Anatomy isn't. It's what you feel. That's your gender. Aye. And it's on a spectrum. Talking about being on a spectrum, you sent me a link to a bookshop in Glasgow.
Yeah, it was just if you were ever...
Have you got it in the content spreadsheet, Cam?
I think it should be there. It was just
Tranny bookshop. Down. I don't know
if I would call it that.
Well, I think you did, so...
I don't see the point in it. Why the fuck? Why market it?
Why do they need a fucking special bookshop?
Why fucking market the bookshop? Yeah, my bookshop. By the way, you know why you should buy books here? Because I'm a fucking a transvestite, tranny, whatever, and I'm fucking and go on and on. It's like, shut the fuck up. Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Maybe if they spent more time actually trying to sell books and stuff, they wouldn't look like a pair of fucking tramps.
That's such an ominous image, by the way. Soon. What's coming soon?
Scroll down. There's one I want to talk about. I probably should have. Keep going. No, keep going. I'll tell you the one to click on. Keep going. Keep going.
Man, I hope it do well, right? I hope it sells. But I
that one.
I don't agree with this fucking. I don't agree with like that's the only thing they've got. They don't even give a fuck about the books. It's just
They don't give a fuck about the books. They don't.
We are
they've-
this. We are this.
We are
Buy this
we
book
are a
first.
label. We've got a label. We've stuck it on our fucking selves. Let me
I might
tattoo this
try.
label on my forehead. So there's one of the posts, and
I
it's
might try.
one of the bookshop people wearing sunglasses and headphones, and they're doing the "I'm not well" face, right? And there's a fucking and it's a fucking bookshop on Instagram. What the fuck's this got to do with books? I don't know. But this is the fucking caption. Also, just an appreciation post for this queer bookseller this week. Wonder Husband has spent most of the last 5 days writhing around in intense chronic physical and emotional pain, and somehow still managing to be a joy to be around.
I doubt it.
I know I'm not a fucking joy to be around when I'm in chronic physical and emotional pain. I'm a fucking cunt. But because they're of a special gender, they're clearly not a cunt. Solidarity with anyone else living with chronic pain conditions, particularly during the pandemic, it is hard and nobody deserves it. Love this bug very much. Now, I've never seen what comes next on Instagram before. Instagram is a visual social network. It's about visual content. They've handily typed in an image description. Who the fuck's that for?
Oh,
Who
I
the
know,
fuck's the
I-
image description for? There's already a
wait,
fucking
aye.
provision on Instagram for you to add a description to the text. It doesn't need to be in the fucking description that comes next to it. It's just fucking weird. But
Oh, no,
here's
I
the
think,
fucking
on you go. Sorry, on you
here's
go.
the fucking clue as to why I was so triggered by this. Image description. Charlotte, a small white person with tattoos and bleached short hair, is making a grumpy face at the camera. They are wearing sunglasses and headphones for autism. So I saw that, I immediately screenshotted it and I sent it to Mary in a text and I says, this is what I want for my Christmas. Headphones for autism. I don't have autism, but I want to see what is special because the photograph, it looks like ordinary headphones.
Well,
And
I mean,
she's
I'm
probably
sure
got your binaural beats thing playing in them because that's what all the millennials are doing, right?
The
But
thing
what's
is, right,
special about autism headphones?
I mean, I'm sure they look like normal headphones, and I'm sure they might be noise cancelling for the outside. But living with chronic pain, my wife actually lives with chronic pain, and I understand that obviously if she's not feeling well, that's a shame. And I hope they do well at selling books. But my thing is, I don't know why we have to tell everybody what we are and who we are. I think we just be it, just do it, and just do it. Be it who you are, and then sell your books, and that's it. Try and use what you're selling as the thing. I don't know why people are saying it's. You know what I mean? It's like buy this because I am this,
Yep.
and I don't know if that's the reason, man. I think we've just. I think the whole thing about the privilege thing and then getting to tell people you need to call me this. You can't say anything because you need to call me this. And it's like
But they're not
can't-
privileged, they're oppressed. But they get to
aye.
demand what they're called. Listen,
we
man,
can't
I
be doing it,
personally don't
man.
have a fucking problem with that, right? You can demand all you like, and aye, fine, you want to be called. I mean, the Instagram for the podcast, I've put the pronouns on it, Neil. It's JGM.
Right, okay.
JGM. So if I could just remind the guys in the chat when you're referring to Neil and I, it's JGM, thank you. I don't have a problem with folk wanting to be called whatever they want to be called, right? It's maybe a little bit strange, but that's absolutely fine, right? What disturbs me the most about that Instagram account is the fact that the shop is on Allison Street in the south side of Glasgow. That's fucking Govan Hill. That's one of the roughest areas of Glasgow. And right on the corner of this street in Govan Hill, there's a queer bookshop. That takes balls.
Aye, fair play.
Takes fucking balls, man. Have you ever been down Govan Hill and down Allison Street? Rough as fuck.
I've been actually. We went down. I was in the van with one of my friends, in his van, and he says, "I need to go and dump this couch." And I was like, "Aye, right." I thought he wanted a lift weight to go to the dump, and we drove to Allison Street. And he got out and he fucking pulled the couch out, sat at the side of the road, and he says, "We'll just leave it there." He says, "Honestly, we'll come back around, and that'll
In
be
5
away."
minutes and it'll be in somebody's living room.
Fucking drove away to get something to eat, right? Out at the end, up to there, get something to eat, and then come back round, and the fucking couch was away. He says, "See, I told you." He says, "You want anything like that away, just sit it here." But they have the barrels there where they have the fire. They have barrels, you know, like Rocky
Yep.
one with the fucking fire coming out the old oil barrel. It's
They don't have any a cappella groups though, do they?
Take it back.
Stand in the street corner.
Whoa, take it back. Whoa.
That's
It's like,
Nicola Sturgeon's constituency, by the way.
I knew that, and it's a real. I mean, I think they're doing it.
Rough
I
as
don't know,
fuck.
man. It's just I don't know. It's like fair. See the people like with the bookshop. Fair enough, you get a bookshop. Yes, I think we need to get away with really putting these identities on us, man. It's no good for
aye.
it. We
Well,
can't
Scott's
you know?
given us a couple of identities in the chat. No, that Cam, the next one. He's given us a couple of identities. Maybe we need to just claim these. Scott says, I just remember you as upside down hair and hat man. So we can claim that. Get that on the merch, Neil. Put that on the merch list.
It's just when you go.
I'm just going to say I've got two things to say about that descriptive image part. First of all, it is pretty autistic to put a descriptive image on a mainly visual platform, and the second is it's basically the equivalent of doing descriptive comedy at a blind person's charity night.
It is a bit when you think about it, isn't it? A room full of blind people, and it's like being a mime artist who's got to describe their art at a blind person's party. Now I'm pretending to get out of a glass box. I'm placing my hands against the imaginary. Oh, now I'm pushing the walls to the side. And the blind folk are just sitting going, what the fuck is that?
What's a box?
What's a box?
I've seen that thing. I've seen the ID thing on things. It was like, I think it was like some arty pages or that I follow, and then I saw them doing the ID, and I never knew what it meant. I was like, I don't know, it must be a new thing, but I'm kind of out of touch with stuff. So hey, maybe the whole bookshop and the thing is the way to do it. That's what you need to do now. Maybe if I'd done that to promote my stuff, you would. But it's just the whole giving myself this identity. We can't be. I mean, and people can do what they want, but I don't think it goes down well when you tell yourself you are this thing, this image, and then it's no really. Maybe that's who they are.
If you tell yourself, it's that whole joke into it we make. Don't doubt your greatness, right?
Aye.
So if you keep telling yourself, and that's the whole idea of these things, right? You keep telling yourself, I am great, I'm powerful, I'm an international podcasting digital content creator, right? You tell yourself that often enough, then you start to believe it, and it starts to become who you are. And I think it's kind of the same as that. You make up a label for yourself. I'm an autistic,
but I mean, I'll be honest. See when
Charlotte.
See when these people try, like, say they're all inclusive, like they're a holiday in Benidorm, and they're all inclusive and all that, right? It's like, see when I'm at any of these events where they have like stuff like this. No, I don't go to all these big events. But what I'm saying is, like, they have a wee stall somewhere, and I go over and look at what they've got, and I'm interested in stuff. I have a creative side, I have an emotional side, so I'll look at the stuff and I want to talk to them about. I want to talk to them about what you're up to, what he's doing, and and it always comes across as if we'd rather not speak to you. We want to speak to these people with the green and orange hair behind, and it's like, it's no that inclusive, and I'm like, I'm only here to see what you're up to, and so that's fucking great. Blah blah.
Sorry,
blah.
but you're actually a cis white male, and I'm quite intimidated by the clear testosterone demonstration growing out of your face. So if you don't mind stepping aside, because I've got my non-binary friends behind me. I've noticed he's changed their hair colour to purple this week. That means that he's on his period. So I'd like to speak to his gem.
And then obviously you just reply, I will fuck you and your fucking hair, man.
Your books and your art's fucking shite.
But it's like, I'm just like, all right, and I can tell, and I'm like, all right, thanks a lot, see you later. And it's like, and it's the wrong, it's like, with the image that they're putting out, oh, we're so inclusive, this and that, and I'm like, it's no in my experience, it's no what I've experienced, and it's not just happened once, it's happened many times, It's a weird, but fair enough. Hopefully,
I agree. I've seen it as well. And I think the difference between you and me is you're probably quite willing to go up and talk to them and try and have a wee chat because you want to know, but I don't give a fuck. But then I'm just...
You see, I like other people's life experience. I like to see how they're going through life, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know if that would be a tough way to live, or maybe that's the only way they can live. They keep telling you it's the only way they can live. I don't fucking know, right? It's like, I'm just interested in talking to other people, but fuck, I don't know. I think
what we need to do for a future episode is go over to Allison Street, visit the bookshop. They're only open Thursdays to Sundays, so we'd need to try and fit it in with our jam-packed schedule. But I think we should go over and take a camera, get camera producer Cam to follow us about as our videographer, and just go in and go, just sort of say, can we interview you?
Aye.
for our podcast,
Well, you know what?
sure.
See what?
And then when they stand in front of us, we just go, right, get the camera on, and we just sort of just point about, no saying, just point about, look, and then turn to them and just go, why? And then not say anything.
Why what? Why what?
Why what?
the-
Why? Why what? Why? What do you mean? Why have we got this bookshop? Why are we like this way? Why do I wear headphones with artistics? Where did I get my headphones artistic? That's what you want to know, isn't it? You want to know where I got my headphones for artistic because you want them for your birthday or Christmas.
I mean, it's just it happened to me in another bookshop. I've went into another bookshop. You know the bookshop on Great Western Road? Is it Caledonia Books, like rare books or something like that? It's old books.
Yeah.
So me and Ross went in, and he was looking for a certain specific book, and I was asking him if he had like if he had a certain author in, because it's like Scottish books and all that, and he just dismissed us. We were in worky clothes, right? So it was like kind of worky, and he just dismissed us, and I'm like, what a fucking prick. Is it, you know what I mean? I'm into buy books. I'm into that. And he just just like, nah, we don't have anything like that. And I'm like, it's over there. I see the author there. You know, I was asking for another title that he'd done. And he just dismissed you. But maybe that's just bookshops. Maybe that's bookshops.
And
I
then,
don't know.
and then Roy Orbison started playing down, 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 down.
Aye.
And you went away and you met up with your millionaire boyfriend, and he took you back into the shop and he's just bought you everything you wanted.
Aye. Big mistake. Huge mistake.
Right, we've got a few comments to cover off, so you've got to scroll back up. So we're getting a wee tiny bit of pouters, Neil, that we're cutting the live stream short at about the 1 hour and a half mark. And what I would remind guys is, right, if you go back to pretty much every episode before episode, I think episode 9, we were round about the hour and a half, hour and 45, and we wrapped, we stopped. So we're getting a wee bit of heat for that, but I'm sure it's all tongue-in-cheek. Howland makes a wonderfully succinct point. He's absolutely on fire tonight. He says they have some cheek complaining about the TV licence and then making us pay Patreon to watch them. Fair dues, fair dues.
Hey, Howland, it's like when I says to you, I don't know if you heard, when I says to Mark, how much is a Patreon? I think it was £3, £4, and he says £9, and I'm like, oh man, that's Netflix money. But hey, what can you do? What can you do?
Well, it's £4. It's actually £4 now.
£4.
So what else we got? Rob Cassidy says exactly, Howland, we can call them the BBC now.
Big black cock.
Big black cock. What else we got? Yeah, so we're talking about what to call us. So Scott had said upside down here and Hatman. Rob Simpson consolidated our look to simply big baldy cunts.
That's funny.
Funny. Gordy Browse reckons we've got too big.
Oh, aye. They've gotten too big. I know. We like how many views? We broke 100 views on any video yet.
We haven't even got 100 subs yet. World Peas, now that's a new name, but I believe they follow on Instagram. They make the good point. The more you're defined by a group identity, the less of an actual person you are. Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
That's the way I would have said it if I was fucking educated. Is exactly what I'm meaning. It seems strange to me. I mean, I don't know. I find that everybody's trying so hard to fucking fit into a group or fit into a thing or call me this, call me that. I'm like, can we just not give a fuck about what we call each other? That's progress when we just go on with it. We keep calling, you know what I mean? You can't be putting labels on people,
Well,
man.
you've assigned a label to yourself, though, if you're honest, and that label is the Merch Lord. So Gordy Browse has got a great idea for you for your merch store. Get some SMRE Autism headphones.
There we go.
I think we'll maybe look at that for Christmas, lead up to Christmas.
I've got a
non-binary autism headphones.
I've got a cousin who's autistic. And he gets on well, man, through life. So I don't know. I can see what thing, mate, is what. I don't think the headphones will be different. I really can't. I've seen the sensory. I don't know what the actual name for them is, but I don't know if the headphones would be any different. Maybe just noise cancelling.
Noise cancelling. It's got to be. And sorry, they had the noise cancelling on so they could drown out the. How come you've not fucking tidied up the bookshop from her husband? Oh, I've got autism. My autism's getting quite bad. Better. I'll just. Can't hear you. No. Autism's kicked in.
Like, it's just, I don't know. I think we're all actors, man. It's like I look at everybody doing stuff, and I'm like, this is a performance. It's like a performance for life. Like, this is,
Since I left the religion back in 2008, I struggled with my identity. Like, who am I? What do I want to be? And I remember being in France on holiday, and a TRV owners group. I think it's TRV, like the cars, the sports cars, the classic British sports. TVR, sorry. A TVR owners group rolled into this campsite we were staying on. And you could hear them coming a mile away with engines, beautiful V8 engines. Brrr, and they all came in and they were all sitting round outside their caravans and they had a kind of barbecue thing going. And I hankered after that. I'd love to have a bit of my identity linked to a group because it was all I knew for 36 years. And then I used to go to a yoga place over in the West End, and I got talking to an older guy that went along, and he had a Vespa, and he'd started I think it was the Paisley Vespa club. And he was saying, you need to get one and join your wee club and all that. And I seriously considered it. And again, it's wanting to belong to a greater group identity. So I kind of, listen, for all we're kind of taking the piss and we're making a joke, I kind of get it. But now we've got our own wee community here, Neil. We identify as big baldy cunts. We've got our friends in the chat. So fuck your car clubs, fuck your Vespa club. You're sorted. Well, I'm sorted.
That's it. I don't even like group chat type things, man. You know, it's like, it's too much. Groups, clubs, all sorts. I have nothing, and I just don't like them. I think they should be banned. I think we should ban groups and clubs.
Aye.
Every single one. Every single group, every single club, ban it and see what happens.
But would that not make everyone part of the same big club though? Because you've banned them
Clubless, the clubless club.
That's we should only have the one club. It's like we are all one.
We're all one race, or the human race.
We're all one. We're all connected. We hurt somebody, we're hurting ourselves, you know. So maybe we should just do away with all clubs and all
we all
groups.
all wear the same clothes, the same armband, same haircut.
Yeah.
Mustache.
Yeah. Right, so we've got another new name in the chat, and then we'll be wrapping things up here, guys.
Okay.
Max Harrison.
How's it going, Max?
So Max says this is going on because the Champions League is pish.
Oh, good.
So glad to hear it. And he also says, say hello to the big baldy cunts. Go fuck yourself, Max. Go fuck yourself. Learn some respect for your elders. He's one of your pals, isn't he, Cam?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I've met Max, isn't I?
I think I've.
See the snivelling wee cunt that's a bit of a snake and everybody hates?
No, that's Hendo.
Oh, that's Hendo, right, okay. Welcome, Max. Good to see you here, mate. World Peace reckons that there should be a ban on gatherings of over one person. Yeah, that was last year, mate. That was the fucking whole of last year, mate. Cool. And then Howland follows up, and we'll close on this. Fucking hate group chat. Well, you could have fucking fooled me, Howland. You could have fooled me that you hate group chat.
He's on here every fucking Wednesday doing group chats, the fucking lying bastard.
Right, folks, thank you for watching. And if you're a subscriber to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Neil and I greatly appreciate it. We love you more than our firstborn children. We'll take a wee break. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, look out for the link. We'll be doing a little bit extra content before we wrap up for the night. Howland Patter's great. I'm not saying any more. I'm not saying he's good value for money. He's good old Howland. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching and listening, guys. We really appreciate it. We will see you all next Wednesday at 7 p.m.
See you later on.